Hey, traders, welcome to episode 834 of this show. It's a Sunday, it's the weekly candle close stream. Thanks for being here. We got less than an hour, and this is just kind of a weekly tradition, right? Where we look at Bitcoin, we kind of talk about things that happened, and then we'll play some Jesus chomps in like less than an hour. Okay, so a lot kind of went on this weekend. And I don't know if you were here watching or not. I mean, I did a, 5-hour live stream or something last night. And it was because Bitcoin had broken out to hit over 9,000. It actually hit almost 9,200. Highest point for Bitcoin was like $5 away from 9,200. You know, so it was like this small amount of accumulation with a sell wall. When you broke it, a measure move, you hit it perfectly, and then you also hit this channel, right, that we've been in since January 3rd, 2 weeks or so. You hit the heart line, where we regarded it as resistance before. Couldn't break it here, really. You know, resistance again, failed, and really on the 4-hour, it seems like some bearish divergence developed. It was really fast, though. I mean, like, I think I'd already gotten off stream, but by the time this 4-hour candle closed. And so, yeah, I guess it's like, look, a high on price, the higher high on price, lower levels relative strength, but you could have been saying divergence the whole time, right? So it was really kind of tough to identify that, on the 4 hour before it happened, really. So if you look at the same channel, we're outside of it now, right? Do we not we didn't really break it. That's what's weird about it. We closed like at it and then just opened outside and just stayed out ever since. Lots of indecision after bearish impulse. One thing you did do, 85.48, just looking left at this area right here. It was at that low point. You bounced off of it 3 times, tested it, and now you're just dojing. You can't even see the Japanese candle. Like, you can't see the body of the candle because it's literally 3 hours ago, the same price it opened at, where we got as low as 84.76 just, I don't know, maybe an hour ago. Craziness. Crazy volatility showed up. But then earlier, you had to run all the way up to like 87.50. So volatility is here. Lots of movement going on right now with the futures opened, I think, 9 minutes ago. Yeah, it's got to be open. But I don't know, the CME might be closed because of MLK, right? Martin Luther King Day tomorrow. So, where are we? 86.38, what is that? That's below the measured move of the inverse head and shoulders pattern. So, what do I do, or what will we do as a trading community that is devoted to swing trading? We're waiting for pattern development on a significant time scale like we did before. And in the meantime, we look at other assets for trade setups, stock market, or if we're just going to look at commodities or currency pairs, right? I mean, this is like still in the same wave. It's almost like nothing happened. You want to know what really happened, which is kind of cool, chat? Okay, this 84 to 8,500 area, clearly been used as a battleground before as resistance and failure. Resistance and failure before running and up thrusting through it, failing, and then once you finally broke it, you were off. But like, look left. I mean, you're bouncing off of that, even with the volatility that came in this weekend. And we have gapped down. Bear with me. Okay, because the futures are open. Just opened at like 86.60, a little bit higher. And I'm 10 minutes delayed on this stuff, man. Sorry. It's like $1,400 a year just to have CME futures, up to date. Probably should just do it, but futures chart, 200-day moving average, you are above it, and there's a gap fill. Well, 89.26 gap fill. So that is hundreds of dollars away. Oh, so the people that are always bearish, talking about the bearish gaps, well, now you have something else to complain about. You have a bullish gap right here. So there's one down here that never got filled, but now there's one up here. Which one are you closer to? But, broken out clearly. Clearly still above the battleground area. Major overhead resistance. You're above it. That's good. That's good, man. You need to stay above it for an extended amount of time, and everything else will work out. Let's go to the weekly. Time scale hop. Looked at the 60-minute, the 4-hour, the daily, futures chart. Now the weekly. Spot price. So we are still above. On the weekly, it's like 8,200 to 8,500 is also the major resistance. I know people were talking about 9,000 as a resistance. It had one, but we just couldn't sustain prices over it, and we could never make it to 9,600. I think it's the weekend stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. I've said it a bunch of times now. But the correlation of price action when Bitcoin breaks and closes above this area, it normally runs up to 9,600 in the coming next weeks. Remember, each candle here represents 7 days. So it's not going to happen like immediately, though it can, but probably not. It's a very good sign to close the week above 8,500. Right, because that, just based on history, there's a high probability we'd see 9,600. Whatever. We go to the weekly on Bitfinex and log scale and show you something that's not the best looking. I mean, you don't really want to see this because look, that we are, you know, above that critical historical area. Look at the downtrend. Downtrend we're in. Make sure it's gonna be just a tidbit off because I plotted on the daily, but you can see it. We're in it. We're not out of it right now. So you really want to break that. That is a literal supply line where sell orders are. Well, it looks like the sell orders came in right there, didn't they? Yeah, I'll tell you, this 4-hour candle. This 4-hour candle, $276 range. Pretty wild. So again, hope you're having a good Sunday. Kenny Powders, you're effing out. Just kidding. It's a Kenny Powers thing. Pop culture reference. So I guess we can just go back and look at we can assess the damage across the Altcoin market, right? Yeah, you were breaking out, not so concerned with the top, because I think you've already broken out. There's other ways to anchor it, but the horizontal line is the most important here. Very important.
Please tell us our beanie babies are going to the moon in a golden Lambo like the other thumbnail shock jocks say. Kappa.
Is that a joint?
The other altcoins are gonna go to the moon. Kappa. Very good. It's done. Thank you, Greg Morgan, 1941 Connect. Much love. And speak of the devil, those Altcoins. We're looking at one of them now, and just based on history, you can see how important it is. 160 to 163, 65, right? I mean, how many times has this been regarded as support or resistance? It's being regarded as support right now, but you're bearishly engulfing on the daily and kind of falling back into the channel. But, I mean, isn't it good to know that, like, what Ethereum needs to do? Like, this can help you with, like, deciding on where to have your stop loss. If you're in on this already, right? I mean, like, having a stop below this critical area of support. What is going on? Okay, I don't know why it's freaking out right now. But you can think about, all right, breaking below that could be really bad, you know? So if you break below, I mean, like this is the area where you can pause in your trend and consolidate for a week and then run again and eventually test 192 to 195 to 200. And that's when you can start getting trend reversals, because this is the previous discernible swing high. It's like nearly $200. So you can't say Ethereum's in a bull trend until it breaks above that, holds above it, and then starts running to the upside to the next area like 220. Like, that's when you can say, all right, we are technically trending and it's up sloping now. There's no upsloping trend right now. It's pretty much, maybe in the shorter time scales, but the significant time scale like the daily, it's just like one impulse up. That's it. It's nothing. From the lowest low of this whole run was the lowest low of the entire correction. That's not really, you know, we want to see a major higher low eventually on all these coins that have had pretty momentous runs the past couple weeks. Higher lows. You've heard rumors, CME gap? I mean, no, it's 89.29. Dude, the gap is where did traders settle up?
Brew. Look at Nest.
All right, Corax, man. Thanks for the threes. Yeah, we'll look at Neo. The gap is where traders settled up, not with the bottom of the candle. It doesn't even make sense why you'd say a gap is here, 8770, 8800. It is literally, the traders closed the week here, right? Positions closed. So the gap down, this is the gap. The gap fills up on top of the candle, 89.29. Okay. Whew. Okay. So, you want to NEO to the US dollar? I don't know, man. Does this not have the data? What has the most data on the US dollar pair? Ah, yes. Okay. I guess Binance. That's crazy. What's going on? Oh, okay. Never mind. Oh, that's trippy. Okay, so NEO to the US dollar, you asked. That was the bottom December 2018. The rest of the market near, I guess, ICO prices, inception prices, whatever. Made a higher low, which is accumulation. It's kind of a low from January 2019. Kind of double bottomed off of it. Yeah, you definitely round it out, and there's another higher low. So it's like, okay, higher lows, but not really higher highs yet at all. No higher highs. So you could look at it like kind of, I mean, this is the resistance. Like this is, it ran up and has made a lower high and it's barely engulfing like right now. And why do we not like put too much emphasis on the altcoins? I mean, because it's based on Bitcoin. Like this thing will continue to run. If Bitcoin runs the upside, NEO is going to probably keep running up and hit 1384 again, right? This area of resistance. That's probably going to happen. But if Bitcoin dumps to the downside, NEO is going to go with it, and it's not going to matter what pattern's being painted, really. Okay, so yeah, a lower high, and you could be like rounding action or cup with handle. Well, I mean, you got pretty close to the top, but you don't want a lower high cup with handle. You want about the same high or a higher high cup with handle. So I think we need data now, right? The impulse just happened, didn't it? We could probably plot a channel. There's a lot of things we could probably do. I mean, we had a channel here and we broke out bearishly, but again, made like a 88% retrace or something. Yeah, 88% retrace before bouncing. So you wait for a pattern. We would wait for a pattern now, right after the run. That's what we're doing on Bitcoin. Everything's had its run. So now it's like impulse time may be over. And so now it's consolidation time, and we wait for that. I don't know what's so crazy about it. We just had a trade set up on Bitcoin entry at 72.50, profit taking at like 8,800, 87.94, whatever it ended up being at the end. Okay, so it's like that was based on a pattern that developed on a daily time scale. So that's it, man. I mean, like, we'll see if you can make a higher low again. I guess you could say that you got 1 and 2 here, and then 3 on the top, and you hit the heart line of the upsloping channel, I guess, right? But, you know, who cares about the upsloping channel? You know, the major resistance you have to break is 1384, 1385, which we've hit before. Double top there, pull back. So you break that, then there's no real resistance above you, really, I guess, until 1691. You'd run there and test that. And then above that, of course, is way up here. Right, without Fibonacci, 1384, 1691, 1953. That's like, you break this, you probably run up to that. You break this, you probably run to that. Pretty simple. This is NEO. Sorry, freaking hate when it does that. Screws up my magnified ticker. Right, so Bitcoin's way more important than NEO. So let's look at Litecoin. Yeah, great looking, amazing looking rounding action. Got, nothing wrong with that. But you want to make the same high or a slightly higher high for a cup with handle. So look, you could sell off, hit the bottom, hit this demand line, 892 again, maybe run again. It's all on Bitcoin though. You know that. Okay, so it like NEO in a way, it's kind of, it's a little different. I think it is actually a lot different in the short term, but just based on the way you had a sell-off and then you came back up and you never made the same high. You got close. You just didn't. You didn't get to that top, that overhead resistance. And so 65 bucks, 64.75. That's the trend reversal area. Look, you could run up or you could not hit it and then you sell off. And look, we could come down and back test 52 bucks, come down and test 48 bucks, hold there, make a higher low than the previous low. You make a major higher low than previous low. That's a real good sign, man. That means, hey, deposit man is accumulating here. And then it could be just, you could start arguing and saying left shoulder head, right shoulder stuff. So the impulses have happened. The divergence played out. You didn't make a higher high yet, but maybe that's just because you run like this, you got to pull back before running again. And just you're hoping on the pullback, it doesn't end up being a lower low than 37 bucks. You want a trend reversal, you got to we got to see some accumulation on a daily time scale, some real accumulation. Like even on Bitcoin, like this is great. This was great for a trade, a swing trade. But man, we're talking, you want a position to be long in Bitcoin for like 6 months or 3 months or something. On this pullback, Bitcoin is having, Ethereum, all of them, higher lows. Gotta have them, man. Cosman, dude, I just looked at Neo. What? What's up, Mission Crypto Girl? Aussie85. Mark a lot. Mario, Ryler. What's up, 777 Athletic? We do. We still do. That hasn't changed at all. But just because the conditions are extremely favorable for more upside potential on the weekly doesn't mean the daily can't take its time, the 4 hour can't take its time. As long as we stay above 8,500, we're good. But right now you're talking about like, oh, what should I do? What should I do? It's like, hey man, I'm just waiting for pattern development, waiting for a reason. You've hit 8,500 twice and violently bounced off of it, so there are obviously buy orders there. What's up, Robin? Ramen, thanks for the sub. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you all for the new subs this past, I don't know, a few days with volatility picking up. Means a lot. The road to 30K, big number. Vegeta said 8K in the original. No, I mean, it's, yeah, he says first it's 8,000, but then like Goku's still powering up and then it becomes not over 9,000. So spoon powered. So, you know, again, like this is great, dude, but this isn't near enough. Make a higher low. I mean, look here, listen. Back in December, we made like a real higher low, a bullish engulfing candle. The higher lows, man. Like a low, the low, slow, and then a real discernible higher low. That is definitely what we need here too. Get it? All right, let's go to Ethereum Classic. Assess that damage. Sure, it was probably pretty bad. No, it's actually up today. It's up 2% almost. What? All right, Ethereum Classic doesn't give a crap about nothing, man. Even though it's well off its highs, I mean, its highest point, 12 bucks. Now, where traders settled up not too far at all. I mean, it's at 950 or so. It actually ran up there earlier today to test it. It was, I think last night, it was starting to try to engulf. But of course, with Bitcoin volatility, with Bitcoin pulling back, you could definitely probably expect some sort of pullback on all altcoins, including Ethereum Classic. Jory, we're not really supposed to know. We're not supposed to know. We act off of what actually happens, not what's gonna happen. I don't know if, and no one is really telling you the truth if they truly know. Like right now where we're at, we're kind of in purgatory on Bitcoin in the trend because you've broken the geometrical trend line and linear and log. Actually, you're still above it, like technically right now, barely. But you haven't broken above overhead resistance. You technically, you need to do both, which we haven't done yet because we know on Bitcoin it's 9,500. and Bitcoin has had an impulse up, and we traded it, and it was great. But now we're just waiting on this wave to end and a new wave to begin. But again, I don't know when the wave's going to end. It could run up even higher. So until we start getting more data on a significant time scale, I'm cool with saying I don't really know. Right? How do we normally know? We normally know when we get the edge based off the TA, which the TA is like pattern development, bullish divergence, critical supports, back testing of springs, bullish, did I say bullish engulfing candles? Bullish hammers, whatever. That's how we get our edge. Right now, it's like, I don't know. Why should I know? We found the bottom, dude. Dead cat bounce on, or dead cat bounce on Pundy. Sorry, I saw Pundy and just like lost my mind. Saw red. Yeah, I'm on Twitch. What? But I don't stream on it. It's just a backup, which I probably should stream on Twitch. It's probably a better long-term play to just stream on Twitch. But man, I'd lose so many people. They just wouldn't come over. What's up, Zillium? Thank you. Glad you're here. Ethereum. Oh, XRP. Yeah, XRP. Alright, so Bitcoin futures bounced a little bit, 86, 85, bouncing off that 200-day moving average like Jesus, man. See that? Gotta love the, how regarded as resistance one time, support twice. Now it's looking like how we regarded the 200-day moving average as support before a huge rally, before the dump, right? But very nice touches we're seeing on that 200. Not bad, man. Gap fill again, 89.29 on the futures chart. At GM, me too. I'd be quite pleased if Bitcoin held above 8,500 for an extended amount of time. So yeah, here's XRP. This was just kind of like trade stuff where you had a pattern, you had divergence into convergence, you had broken out of it, and the bullish engulfing candle the same day Bitcoin bullishly engulfed. And you've hit a target. You hit the first target. There's a second profit taking level, but it's you never got to it, which we knew and said that would be definitely difficult to do because look left, all this resistance. Bearishly engulfing right now on the daily time scale, 23.5 cents. Down 3.24%. Stream once a week on Twitch. Yes, probably a decent idea. Yeah, well, Common Man Crypto, you obviously haven't been watching long, if you're saying that. Like, I have my own system that people can attest to that it's pretty good. But thanks for telling me. You could start your own charting channel. Teach people how you do it differently than me. Maybe people get benefit out of it, right? I don't know. You want to see VeChain, dude? Whatever. Yeah, it made a higher high than the previous high, but just selling off with Bitcoin below where traders settled up December 24th. So coming back down again, man, yeah, you're holding support at like 51% of a penny. And you're above the 200-day moving average, which is good, but we know the value is really down here, like 78% retraces. So again, man, you're just looking at an S coin, and it's like none of it even matters what it's painting or doing if Bitcoin dumps or pumps, if it's showing bearish stuff. So that's why we put so much emphasis on Bitcoin in the crypto market, because it drives pretty much everything. Like, can't I just do what I love and try to teach people what I've learned over the past 8-9 years? You know, just trying to help people. Okay, so VeChain, I mean, again, like, I don't really know. It didn't really stop because of any kind of major overhead resistance or anything. It literally just stopped because Bitcoin had a violent pullback early this morning. That's like it. So what are we going to do, man? Carlos Matos would say, what are we going to do? Yeah, Monero, like, sure, pulled back. See, Monero is in a precarious situation because the potential trend reversal area is 66 bucks. And you ran up, and that's where the 200-day moving average was along with that. And you're now selling off, and you're trying, it looks like the asset's trying to stay above this area, but you can clearly see it's below where traders settled up. So it's like kind of holding, but not really. We need some more data. Could just be up thrusting through it. Bear Shirami. And again, you're below that 200-day moving average. Could never sustain prices above it. You got very, very close to the 382, just like Bitcoin. Dude, we're talking Bitcoin was less than $100 away from its 38% retrace, which is the beginning of the golden zone. Go figure, right? Which is like the first common area where a major reversal could occur. I would never recommend 50-time leverage, especially someone who's considering themselves a novice, but even like a pro. 50-time leverage is insane. Just IMO. You can ask other people that are more qualified than me. You need a lipids test. Yeah, pulled out a bit. Yeah, would need sources on that. Sounds like bullcrap. Yeah, I don't believe that, dude. Sounds like PewDiePie coming in here last night. Fake.
Bruh.
Hey, Boston. Boston, thanks for the $5. Man, I got a Boston accent. Thank you, dude. So, you know, if you were just to trade a falling wedge, you know, like 50% retrace, always reasonable targets, 618. But again, you could Fibonacci from the height of the structure and you still never got to the 50% retrace, which is at $76. Then that's just being more conservative with your Fibonacci. You can't really ever go wrong with being conservative if you're concerned. You're like, hey, the pattern though is this, and that's just using critical thinking on where to anchor. So I'm just anchoring from the top. Okay, that's great, man. So Bitcoin's 8,681. We've got less than 30 minutes until the weekly candle closes. So important to stay above 8,500. As we know, that's a critical horizontal weekly support. All golds. Right, I know we can draw a channel. Of course we can. But look, it's just like, oh, is this a bull trend? You know, this is what you want to see. You ever want to? You're concerned about Bitcoin, and you know what we're looking at. Correction. You want to see lows, higher lows. You have your impulse, then you consolidate, like Bitcoin's kind of doing. Majorly, right? It had the huge impulse for 6 months, then it's like almost 7 months, 6.5 months of consolidation, correction, and now you've kind of broken out linear scale. You ran up, but not near enough. But you want to do that, consolidate, run again. You ran up, you consolidated, even more upside potential because there was no resistance, no available resistance until back to 2011, 2012. But that makes sense. That's what Bitcoin does too. When it breaks critical overhead resistance, it normally runs to the next one. So gold's just tearing it up, and you know it consolidated bullishly. 38% retrace from the low to high. 38%. We just talked about it. It's the beginning of the common retrace. So And once you got there, you were showing convergence, divergence, double bottoming a little bit, then accumulation was setting in quietly. And then once you broke the supply line, you were off. And kind of the climax of it all was that Iran stuff. This happened like a week and a half ago, maybe a week ago. Now, maybe it was 2 weeks now. I don't know. I'm going to be like January. 10 days ago. Sorry. And so now it looks like you're consolidating bullishly again. Consolidating bullishly where? Look left, September 2019, previous high. You're holding that. You're really just kind of right around it. And you had a bullish hammer. Look, this nice hammer is a reversal. And then you had a bullish engulfing behind it, or in front of it, excuse me. So now it's like, where's the fall through price action? I mean, that's good, dude. That's real good. 52-week highs recently. You know you're in an uptrend if you're recently hitting 52-week highs. Bitcoin, not near 52-week highs right now. Hasn't made the higher low. I'm just talking about this. Like, this thing about Bitcoin, like, look, this was like the major correction of, 2017, 2018, and it's like Bitcoin, this was Bitcoin, December 2018 to June 26, 2019. Like, you ran up, you didn't make a higher high, but then you consolidated. I think what, we've been doing on Bitcoin kind of looks like it, like this. You're consolidating after an impulse up, and then it's just setting up for higher prices. And Bitcoin's trying to break to the upside and do this, but hasn't really happened yet. But that's why I said at the beginning of the stream, we're kind of like at this crossroads. We're at purgatory on Bitcoin on the trend. So still holding above 8,500, which is the most important thing right now. It's like women and children first. No, not women and children first. 8,500 first. Okay. You see what I'm saying? That's the importance of it. Historical trend line. Women and children first. 8,500 first. Whatever it is. Still below that 200-day moving average. And go to the 4-hour real quick. Still below the demand line. Still back testing as resistance. I guess you're hoping for it to be a false breakout, and eventually maybe Bitcoin can get back above it and run again. Thanks for the 525 people here. If you're enjoying the live stream, hit that like button, that bell, that sub. Right? Because there's like, literally, I'm just here for free trying to analyze Bitcoin on a Sunday, and there's like 12 people who disliked it. So if you want to stick it to those scrubs, you just hit the like button, and we all win, right? Like, data looks like it's showing accumulation now, finally. It's like, they're just S coins. I'm not going to touch them ever. It's based on, like, I could put my money in anything. I could put my money in an asset that makes hundreds of millions of dollars a quarter. So why would I put it in Theta? Yeah, man. Yeah, it looks good. It actually looks pretty good technically, just whatever. Look, you had your lowest point. Now clearly created a higher low. And then look here. Listen, you tested it before we ran up, not enough demand to break it. And then you dumped below it, but look, the sellers just couldn't make it happen. And why could they not make it happen? Because when you did fall below the critical ice line, the sellers were exhausted based on the evidence of the RSI, which is bullish divergence, class A, bullish divergence, slightly lower low with higher levels relative strength in oversold territory, even better. You broke to the upside, but it's like now you've got this. It's kind of like a scuffed. You don't even have to call it a head and shoulders, but it's got all the criteria for it, right? And it's like you haven't broken out, but you're on the on the cusp of it, aren't you? Theta. You can just see it like the less structure, man. All we need to do is, if it did break out, we can target it. The height of the pattern from the breakout be here, but I think you're going to have some major resistance right there at 15 cents that could stop you from ever getting to 16 cents, the 100% measure move. So yes, a low on price, a higher low on price, still staying in this area, and then a higher low recently, January 5th or so. It climbed to the rest of the market, of course. It's above the 200-day moving average now. So, I mean, it does conditions look a little bit pretty favorable for a rise to the upside. You did get some bullish convergence on that right shoulder that got you to the neckline, but no higher yet, only wickage. Traders have not settled up above this area. Oops. And with the daily candle closing, that's what you got to do to have any form of confirmation of breakout. You close like this, it's not a breakout. Get it? All right, that's it, man. That's theta. Okay, Mario. All right, back over 8,700. 15 minutes till the weekly candle close, chat. Not bad. Held support. Major support. There is absolutely not bullish divergence on the 4 hour. Absolutely not bullish divergence on the 4 hour. You have to make a lower low. Wolf, could you post what you think bullish divergence is? Because that's not it, dude. It's not how it works. If anything, you would say a little bit of bearish convergence. But again, man, like, you don't have to have it. Like, there's not bullish divergence right now. Look, at any level you had before, you're making higher levels of negative momentum and lower levels of relative strength. That's not divergence. I'm not sure about expecting a pump. Like, I'm never in the business of timing Bitcoin's price action. But I can tell you when it's saying there's impending price action reversal, right? We don't have that, but I do think that as of now, until things change, until we fall back below 8,500, until the selling pressure gets really, really big, really, violent or aggressive, you got to say that maybe bulls still have the ball. Dude, I'm telling you, if you break back below 8,500, you could be screwed. But even if you break back below 8,500, as long as you make a higher low than I think that 7,000 area majorly, then that would be a form of accumulation, and that would be the composite man acquiring more position in Bitcoin quietly. All the moon boys leave. See, some moon boys are still around because we're near 9,000. Thanks for the 200 likes. What am I looking for on the weekly close, Frodo? Well, dude, again, said it a few times already. Just to close above 8,500 is good enough for me for now. And because that's like breaking out. That's like Bitcoin technically breaking out of historical resistance. I mean, what would be icing on the cake, in my opinion, is if like in the next 13 minutes, Bitcoin could climb and get back inside this channel. But that doesn't have to happen. It's really, it's nice about log scale on the daily, not so much the weekly, is this. Here, listen. All right, so it's like perfect pinpoint accurate touches on the supply line that we broke out of days ago. So we'll zoom in, scale in pretty hard to see the price action response to that trend line that was once supply line. Looks like it's potentially a demand line now. Yeah, Corex, we can look back at gold. Looked at it, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes ago. We can go back, sure. Thanks for threes. So it's good, right? 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4th time now. Now you did fall below it, but that was to test the battlegrounds. Look here, listen. I mean, look how it went in between here and had 2 violent bounces based on what we saw in the 4-hour. So is that double bottom? Is like, why were there 2 bounces? Is that confirmation that the bottom's in here? It could be. That's normally why it happens twice. But, you know, it still is some sort of bearish engulfing candle. But this is just a ton of indecision, man. Tons of indecision. Let's see the daily candle range. $722 candle range. Talk about volatility on Bitcoin today. Yeah. So it could just be I mean, it may not be like a convincing bearish engulfing candle since you had so much rejection on the bottom side, and just turns into closer to some sort of spinning top or something, which again is just pure indecision. All right, so you're out. You've still broken out on the most conservative way of looking at Bitcoin, which is, you know, this log scale based, like, you know, charted based on percentage change, not price change. Price change is linear. When I'm back in Star Wars ship, whenever I want, man. I could do it in 5 minutes if I wanted. It's in my garage, the ship itself. Oh, sorry. Let me button these real quick. 10 minutes, chat. So we're just hanging out, running out the clock till that weekly candle close, see if anything happens. And we'll go to gold in a second. Thanks for being here. Dang it, dude. I got this, man. Okay. So gold, the asset we looked at just, you know, a few minutes ago. 1557. It looks like it's just consolidating bullishly near a critical support resistance area. Yeah, I think the real big one was, you know, 1515 to 1520. That was, again, way back here. But you are above that area, which is very strong, and the uptrend continues. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my god, man. So we can this won't save. We can just do this. Oops, let me show you. Oh my god. So uptrend. Take a look in logs, see how this works. The demand is definitely picked up for the asset, so you can't really do it like this and include it. You could try 1 and 2 on the top. Oh, I think I remember how I would do it. Just give me a second. Right here, because this is where it all turned around. This high, it's like never made a lower low again. Just here. Adjust. And there you go. It lines up so well when you do that. Makes all the sense, right? In the world. It includes every candle that had to do with this uptrend, which is real nice. So you had the heart line and pulled back, and now you're testing the 25% trend line at the equidistant channel, clearly above the 200-day moving average. Very nice uptrend on gold after it broke out critical range, you know, overhead resistance. 1370 or so. It was slightly down sloping, but whatever, we can regard trend lines. So the next overhead resistance on gold, there is one at like 1650, whatever, 1640. That's not the biggest one. That's like 9,000 for Bitcoin in terms of like importance, like major peaks here. So 1800 eventually, if there's the demand. Again, this looks like really nice bullish consolidation, kind of flagging, and you lost all your positive momentum. You've reset your oscillators, so there's a definite chance gold could run again in time. Definitely. The bottom of the channel, it looks like, is around 1500. Not bad, man. Whew. Okay, so back below, right around 8,700 with 7 minutes left. Happy Sunday. Mario, you here, dude? Did you see the analysis? Give me no indication. I mean, Corex, it looks like it. DCA Gold, been saying that for 2 years, man. Is Bitcoin likely to retrace much? I don't know, Ace or Ash. See, I don't know, man. Like, Bitcoin has done what it was kind of supposed to do. And now we're like, the wave is going on. And it could be higher, but this could also be it too. I mean, like, if you just think about deep retraces from this wick to the low point, and we're starting to get into deep retrace territory. We haven't even hit the 786, which is 94.36, or the 886. So we made like a 60. I don't know, man. Maybe it's like a 70% retrace before pulling back. But yeah, the pullback wasn't too bad. And it looks like you're, again, in log scale. And this is log scale. I'm even fibbing log scale, but you're still above the horizontal line support and the old sell wall. And you got some really nice daily correlation of price action to this trend line. But you can't break the 200-day moving average. And on linear scale, it's like you haven't even back tested the trend line yet. Not once. Right? I mean, never. So you could come down to 8,200 to test it again if, I guess, market participants wanted to, but I don't think you want to do that at all, because I think truly 8,500 is way more important than this trend line, this down sloping. Now, would we know when it's going to trigger? You don't know, but you can kind of tell if we make whenever we sell off, we make a higher low than this low, these lows, and then we run again, that'll probably be when it turns green. If that happens, which, no idea. Could just stay in the downtrend, make a lower high than the previous high, and then dump again to lower lows. It's always possible. We don't know if Bitcoin has truly reversed its trend to the upside yet. We don't know that yet. Please take heed of that. I know that is probably the most important piece of information when the stream eventually ends today, is to know that we haven't reversed the trend truly yet. But the Gaussian channel is talking about, it's still down sloping. It's trying to turn around now a little bit. You can barely see it. It's just right there at the neckline of that inverse head and shoulders. Right there. So you want to get that, you want that to turn around. That takes time. You can see, like last time it occurred, right? Just we had to break above the inner band. We came back to back test the inner band before it went green. So you'd say from the bottom. Let me do something. So from the absolute bottom, Bitcoin, December 15th or whatever, to when the Gaussian channel went green, it was 78 days before that thing finally turned around. So that's what I'm saying. It's slow. You can say here, it's not even close, man. Not even close to 78 days, right? Which I don't think really is that big of a deal anyway. It's like 32 days. So I wouldn't hold weight on that. I'm just showing you stuff, whatever. Yeah, you want this turn green eventually. Right around. 2 minutes, chat. How can you say, I mean, you're saying, no, how can you say there is daily hidden bearish divergence on Bitcoin? Like where? That's so untrue and fake news. There's no hidden bearish divergence on Bitcoin on the daily. Prove it with a chart and post it in general for us to all look at. Show me, Schnitzel, with a chart. All we've done since this run started was make higher highs than the previous high every single time on both oscillators. Here we go, 1 minute chat, still above 8,700, but barely. RSI making a higher high. What are you talking about? In reference to this peak? Well, what are you going to disregard all these peaks here? And look, I mean, I don't know, man. Like you can say hidden bearish divergence where you made a lower high, but we don't know if the run's over. You broke a critical resistance and we increased in value from the bottom. You increased in value 40%. 40%. So you can't like, I guess you could run up a bit. I mean, I get why it would stop here. But even if it did run and break this, you could stop and flag before getting there. So, yeah, he's talking about this right here. The old peak to this peak. But we don't know if this peak's done yet. What if it just runs again? Continues to climb and gets overbought in this stage. You just don't know. I mean, we didn't break critical resistance or anything. What would I color this? Like that. I don't know, pink or something. It's not like, I do teal for hidden bullish. I guess I do like that magenta for bearish. And then just regular red for classic and regular bright green for classic bullish divergence. So we have a new day. We do. So Bitcoin futures 87.40. So this is how it's looking right now. Okay. Again, futures, right? You bounced off that 200 and you're just holding for now. And a gap feels like 89.29. Discord link invalid. Yeah, I mean, like normally we have mods in here who are posting all the time. Their links that take you to community guidelines. I'm just going to invite regularly. There you go. Join our Discord because you'll miss my live streams literally if you don't join the Discord. That's how it works. YouTube will not notify you of all my streams. So join the Discord. Plus, that's like the best way to get in contact with me and anyone else in this community when I'm not live. If the man wasn't there, the dump would have been way sharper. I don't know, Alex. I mean, it was the weekend. But yeah, again, like, what happened? You went down and there were too many buy orders. I mean, if we're talking about literal price action, that's exactly what happened. This thing had violent pullback. There's maybe some divergence or something. It tested that heart line and failed. And but this was the big deal. Twice yesterday. It's a new day now. Twice yesterday, you tested that area and then it really big bounces off of it. So let's go to the weekly real quick. So the weekly confirmed close above a critical historical resistance area. It's confirmed. But now you're just at this area. There's nothing here really. I mean, besides this little peak from May of 2019, June, absolutely nothing. Invalid? That's an invalid link. How's that true, dude? Oh no, people are joining. I'm seeing people join now, so that's not invalid. What's up, Manny? Stadium Kings, good to see y'all. Kenny Powders, I don't really ever look at the 1 minute. That's a crazy time scale to look at. It's so insignificant. Hey, Jesse Dow's here, man. Mo, you're a new subscriber. Briefly want to talk about. I mean, dude, I just do technical analysis of all markets. I'm not a crypto moon boy. And oh, by the way, all right, I knew this might have happened. Chat, but this could change. Of course, this could go red again. I'm telling you, it could go red. But Bitcoin on the weekly, the first time since the week of August 19th, 2019, showing positive momentum again. It's been a long time, man, but we made it. Not much, but it's something. Okay, so what you'd want here is follow through price action. Follow through price action that would yield us 9,600 eventually, because historically, that is the way it has gone every single time, except the one time where you increased in value. Like, I can't remember again, what was it? Increased in value at that time almost 200% before, you were exhausted and had to pull back, and then there was so much demand that you bearishly engulfed straight into a bullish engulfing tweezer bottom, and you went on to the buying climax June of 2019. So besides that, literally every single time in history, Bitcoin's run up to 9,600 after confirming a close above 8,500. So good argument. I mean, that's as technical as it gets. And again, not just that, but also the oscillators look grand for upside. Yeah, thanks Tundra and Istanbul and Trader and Radar. Thanks for joining the Discord, y'all. Really appreciate it. In our Discord, there's tons of educational resources. So, and just you're going to be surrounded by a community of people that care about trading and analysis that know a lot about it. So we're just, the Discord is kind of like an institution. It's like a right foundation of education, knowledge, and memes. Fun stuff too. Barack, man, we'd have to fall below 8,500. If we fall below 8,500 this week, we're probably screwed. But you'd hope now with that confirmed weekly close, it would be go time for 95, 96, 100. All right, so linear scale still broken out, still above 8,500. Bearish engulfing candle that looks so bad, it really ended up starting to be more like a spinning top or just indecision candle because the equal wickage on both sides. Really not that bad. Now, if we closed at 8,500 at the lowest low of the day, that would be like lots of weakness going into the close of the week, and there could have been follow through price action. But the way the weekly closed was this daily candle had a really nice rally twice, a double bottom of some sort. All right, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on the traders. Not really, but that's confirmation of a bottom off 8,500. I don't know, but that's normally a good sign. And then, it's confirmed now, I think, on log scale, the breakout's still real. Still real. Yeah, you still held outside of it. Very good. So there's not much more to talk about, really. Yeah. We made it. I made it to the end of the week with you. Been live now over one hour. What's up, Frodo and Demi? Thank y'all for joining the Discord. Welcome. Much love. I think we're, what are we at now? Members. 4,928. All right. 32. No, what? 72 people away. All right. From 5K. Let's go. Who will be number 5,000? That's a big question. No point in hyping it up, man. All right? Until we break 9,500 and hold above it, could still be in a bear trend. The Gap Boys. Yeah, we did. Look, Bill, you don't have to rewind. Look, here it is. The gap is 89.29 and 76.24. Two gaps are open right now. So will we rise? It's very possible to fill the gap at least. Test it. And you gotta love, man, the correlation of price action at this 200-day moving average on the CME futures chart. Resounding bounce. Resistance. Now support. Second time. And when you broke it, resistance kind of, and then fell below it and then got back above it. So really getting above this, staying above it is the great way to start everything. So stay above it, man. Good news about the CME daily futures 200 moving average is it's still up sloping. It's not down sloping. Not like spot prices headed towards the downside. This is different. It is different. Nice, Jacob. I mean, that's kind of like what we're doing on gold a little bit. Kenny, Bitcoin. Look, if Bitcoin gets in some sort of new trend with higher highs, higher lows on the daily, then yeah, DCA could be fine until it hits an overhead resistance and fails and then sells off and then makes a lower high than the previous high and then does that consecutively. So again, until the trend is bullish on the daily, which again, we're still in a correction after a nice move up, 6 months of selling. Got down to 50% retrace on the log scale and a 61.8% retrace on linear scale. So those are value areas, and those are areas where you get major reversals to the upside again because of the impulse that was prevailing. So yeah, I mean, you'd think it's like A, B, C, simple ABC pattern stuff can be interpreted that way with a wave, but we don't really know if it's over yet. Until, like, you don't know if this correction is over on Bitcoin until you break above 9,500, stay above it, and then you just consecutive higher lows, higher highs after that. What's up, Fish in Texas? Thanks for joining the Discord. Alright, so that was just important to look at in log scale. Breakout on both accords, log and linear. Log, linear, futures, GBTC, all of them have like confirmed breakouts, at least on candle closes. 4-hour chart. Out of logs, back in linear. You're still, right, this demand line that was created, you're still out, but you're still climbing, and it could just keep on climbing. I don't know if we're bear flagging right now or anything, but yeah, normally when demand line's broken, it means you can see lower prices, but not if the trend is overwhelmingly bullish. You know, fake out and get right back into it. Dead chat, hype. Thanks for the, around 600 people tuned in. Just looking at Bitcoin. I mean, we've looked at the altcoins, we've looked at gold twice, we looked at the futures chart, you name it, man. We've looked at a lot of things already. Haven't been live too long. All right, man. Well, I mean, look, something crazy happens, I'll come back, but I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my Sunday. Hey, I work like 7 days a week. I'm live every day. So, you know, I was here to cover the weekly for you. So,
Breaking news. My wife Rachel and I are expecting our third child. Flex biceps, baby, thumbs up.
Simple B Slice, man, congratulations on your coming on third kid. That's amazing, dude. Thanks for letting us know. Thanks for the contribution. Really appreciate that. We get some hype in the chat for that. I mean, maybe not for Bitcoin. Clearly, no one's hyped about Bitcoin, but we can get excited about a member of our community having another baby. Let's go. Thank you, dude. Yeah, Maztek's first resistance is 1334. Or someone that was saying something about it. Yeah, it's broken its all-time highs. Yeah, man, dude, again, like, anyone wanting Bitcoin, like, you're safe above 8,500. You fall below 8,500, you still got to wait to see the fall through price action after you break below, below that critical historical support, because it could just fake out and break back above 8,500. But man, staying above that area long enough is, great. I mean, that's like, you would think if you back test and hold that and we've broken the correction and it's real, we would run again to 9,600 from 8,500. Across the board, nothing's really doing anything. Like, everything's up just like 0.25% for the most part on average. So it's not like we're getting any kind of crazy push from an altcoin randomly on the new week and new day. Contact me. 30 Volta, thanks for the sub. Welcome. Glad to have you. But maybe we'll, just think about the gap fill. Seems very, very possible that Bitcoin will hit 89.25 again just to fill that gap. Yeah, Cosman. Yeah, this trade, Never Said Shoulders trade, we completed this. Yeah, dude. Here it is. Here's my trade, dude. Cosman. Right here, dude. 72.50 entry on the bullish engulfing candle. Yeah, Asia is awake. It's true. But they're not really doing anything, are they, Phil? Not at all. Thanks, Miguel. Congrats, dude. Not tomorrow, Alex. Not tomorrow. It's MLK Day tomorrow. Market's closed. Yo, GD5, sure, dude. So, if the wedge was to play out, look, I mean, of course, you can sell off. You even might fall below 8,500 here. I mean, you flag or something, and then you could run again and hit these areas. This is the target for the falling wedge breakout, all right, where 10,130 and 11,000 roughly are the targets on this. No point looking at the daily right now. We're above 8,500. We're good, man. That's all you can look at. There's the uptrends. We know 8,500 is there. Arton show. I mean, like, from its highest point, Bitcoin pulled back. Its lowest point, it was a 8% move, $730. So that is somewhat of a pullback. I would prefer the wave continue to the upside to 9,500, and then we pull back and flag, and we could come all the way back to 8,500 from 9,500, dude, and that would be okay. And then we get our major higher low above 8,500. That would be perfect. You sell off at the 200 moving average? I mean, dude, you just increased in value like 40% or something from the bottom, from that bullish engulfing bottom. December 18th, 2019, to the highest point. Yeah, you can pull back. You can have like red candles that occur on your journey up. Thanks, recession. I don't know about that, man. It's never been about that. Just trying to, give coverage the best I can. So you're currently just back testing the demand line, and it could just keep climbing, and we could just false break out and run back into it. Or this could be where you're back testing and then you dump again, because there's no bullish divergence. But I don't think Bitcoin should do that, because we know 8550 or 8500, excuse me, extremely important and should not be broken. Not at this point. Not because, the reason why is because we closed above it on the weekly. It's a big freaking deal. This is why you don't want to ever fall below 8,500 again. Right here. All right, man. It's been a good stream. I really appreciate y'all coming out again. It's like, hey man, we've talked about everything under the sun again. Spent my entire Saturday here with y'all covering Bitcoin live. So, I don't think anyone can be mad at me for pulling back myself. So thanks so much for the likes, the love, the support, the contributions. Please hit that like button and hit that sub on the way out. I really appreciate y'all. And if Bitcoin gets volatile again, I might be back tonight, but chances are, probably not. So till next time, respect the T. Hey.
Adios, turd nuggets.